Over 100 years of conflict has continued, based on ancient religious hatred between two groups of people who claim the same land. The region now referred to as Israel-Palestine was known as the Ottoman Empire in the 19th century. It was very diverse, with Muslims, Christians, and a small number of Jews who lived there. Most of the Jews at that time lived in Eastern and Central Europe. Over the years, the people in these regions developed a unique sense of identity, not just as Arabs but as Palestinians, while more Jews in Europe were joining a movement called Zionism, which saw Judaism not just as a religion but as a nation or state. Due to their historical ties to the Middle East, it was their best hope to establish a national home and feel safe. During this period, many Jewish people were massacred in Eastern Europe, socially and physically segregated, barred from almost all means of making a living, and subjected to random attacks by non-Jewish neighbors or imperial officials. When World War I broke out, Britain was seeking support from Jewish communities around the world and to counteract German influence in the Middle East. On November 2, 1917, Britain's Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour sent a letter committing the British government to establish a home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This declaration was seen by the Arab population of Palestine as a threat to their statehood. After the war, the Ottoman Empire was defeated, and Palestine was given to Britain as a mandated territory, including the establishment of a Jewish national homeland. During this time, Jewish immigration to Palestine increased significantly, while tensions between Jewish and Arab communities in Palestine also grew during this period, leading to a series of violent clashes. In 1947, the United Nations voted to partition Palestine into two Jewish and Arab states. The Jewish leaders accepted the offer, but the Arab leaders did not. In 1948, the British realized the problem could not be solved, so they left, and then the Jewish leaders declared their independence and created the State of Israel with the backing of the then U.S. President, Harry Truman. This did not go well with Arab leaders, leading to the First Arab-Israeli War from 1948-49. By the time the fighting ended, Israel controlled most of the lands, including the Galilee region, the Palestinian coast, and a strip of territory connecting the coastal region to the western section of Jerusalem. Tensions continued to mount in the region. Fast forward to June 5, 1967, the beginning of the Six-Day War, when Egypt, Jordan, and Syria attacked Israel. At the end, Israel won, occupying substantial amounts of Arab lands, including the Sinai Peninsula, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and most of the Syrian Golan Heights. This effectively tripled the size of the territory under Israel's control, while most Palestinians were not allowed back to their lands. They had to flee to neighboring countries. In 1973, Egypt and Syria launched a surprise attack on Israel and eventually lost. During this period, Hamas, a Palestinian militant group, was founded with the principal goal to liberate occupied Palestinian territories by any means possible, including violence, and to establish an independent Islamic State. In 1978, Israel and Egypt signed a peace treaty, and the Sinai Peninsula was returned to Egypt. Later, in 1993, Israel and the Palestine Liberation Organization signed the Oslo Accords. The agreement meant Israel would withdraw from the occupied territories in exchange for peace and security, followed by a series of negotiations. In 2005, Israel withdrew from the Gaza Strip. In 2006, Hamas won a majority in the Palestinian legislative elections, leading to a split between the West Bank and Gaza Strip. Since then, the Gaza Strip has been under Hamas's control, while the West Bank has been under the control of the Palestinian Authority. Fast forward to October 7, 2023, Hamas launched a series of coordinated attacks on Israel from the Gaza Strip. In a single day, over 800 Israeli civilians were killed, and over 200 were taken as hostages. The Israeli military retaliated by conducting an extensive aerial bombardment campaign on Gazan targets and followed up with a large-scale ground invasion of Gaza. This conflict has claimed tens of thousands of lives and displaced many millions of people. They have been at each other's throats for so long that it's hard to remember a time when they weren't fighting. The international community continues to work towards a peaceful resolution to the conflict, but progress has been slow, like a ticking time bomb.